I shit my shoulder that I'm sure somebody spit in.
You having a nice laugh, are you?
You think I don't want to watch you do it?
Hey! And go.
What's up, everyone? I'm Adam, this is FWCI, and we're gonna watch Ryan George, the Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer pitch meetings. I watched these... I remember watching the first one way back in the day and not really caring for it, and I never saw the second one. And with Deadpool vs. Wolverine coming up, I went and watched a whole bunch of old Marvel movies. I watched the Fantastic Four movie, I watched Ghost Rider, there'll be a reaction to that coming. And the only ones I didn't get a chance to watch were Daredevil and Elektra, and I think there's another one. Oh, and Ghost Rider 2. Yeah, I'm not watching that. So I'm all caught up with the Fantastic Four from 2005. I know about Jessica Alba's contact lenses. I know about, what's his name? Dr. Doom's face peeling off and all that bizzo, and I know about the Silver Surfer. And by the way, were him and Sue Storm, like, you know, flirting and wanting to rub crotches together? Silver Surfer doesn't have a dick. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the next movie. Let's check out Ryan George, the Fantastic Four pitch meeting.
So, you have a Fantastic Four movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. It's gonna be called Fantastic Four. Right, okay. And this guy, Reed Richards, and his partner, Ben Grimm, want to go check out this space cloud that's passing by, right? Okay. So they go ask this guy, Victor Von Doom, if they can use his space station real quick. Sounds like a trustworthy guy. But he's not. He's actually gonna be the bad guy. Victor Von Doom is the bad guy? Yeah. Well, there was no way for them to see that coming. I know, right?
Is it not one of the most, like, obvious villain names of all time? Victor Von Doom. I mean, is he gonna be the hero? No, I don't think so.
So anyway, he's like, yeah, you can use my space station, but I'm coming with. Oh, is he an astronaut or something? No, he's not, but his girlfriend Sue is going, and she used to date Reed, so he kind of wants to keep an eye on things. Does he think they're gonna go cheat on him in his space station? Maybe. Oh, and also Sue's brother Johnny is gonna be going. God, what are all these characters gonna do on this mission? Incredibly unclear, but they all have to be there so they get powers. Oh, okay, gotcha. So anyway, it turns out that this space cloud was moving faster than they thought, and they get stuck in this big space explosion thing. Oh my god. Yeah, and so back on Earth, they're like, wow, that was nuts. Wait, how did they get back down to Earth? I don't know. But what do we say happens? Nothing. We're just gonna fade to black, and when we fade back in, we're back on Earth. I don't...
World-class level space exploration, they had a backup plan, but that's a very, very good point. Yeah, they did just kind of brush over that little detail, and I'm glad they did. That movie didn't need to be any longer than it was, and it was not a long movie.
I don't know if you could just fade to black when you don't feel like explaining something. Sure you can, and then you just keep moving on with... Oh, whoa, what is that? Sounds like some kind of life-threatening catastrophe that we have to deal with. Oh, that's not good. Wow, what a crazy, wild situation we just lived through, you and I. Well, I'm glad we got through that situation. Me too, now we're safe and sound, and that's all we need to say about it. So what else happens in the movie? Well, as it turns out, the space incident gave them all special powers. Well, what powers do they get? Oh, well, Johnny is the Human Torch, so he gets, like, fire powers. Oh, how does he find that out? Oh, well, he's in the hospital, and a nurse takes his temperature, and it skyrockets to over 200 degrees. Oh my god, what is she...
She's a shit nurse, is what she is. She just let him walk out, like, okay.
Do about that? She goes snowboarding with him. Oh, she does? Yeah, he just kisses her on the lips and he's like, meet me at the top of a mountain. Are they dating? He just kisses her on the lips without consent and she's like, well, I guess I should disregard the fact that this guy should be dead because he's into me. Wow, what a horrible nurse and patient. Yeah, so they go do some extreme sports on a mountain, but Johnny catches on fire and melts a hole in the snow. Wow, they must both freak out. Now, it makes like a little hot tub thing and so they bang. Okay, so just so I'm clear, none of these people are actually gonna behave like actual humans. Oh, yeah, no, I thought that was obvious by now. And so how did he and the nurse manage to do that if his body is over 200 degrees? I don't know. Oh, physically impossible lovemaking is tight. Yeah, it is. So anyway, Reed also gets the power to be super stretchy. And what does he use that for? We're gonna have him open a door and write on a chalkboard and grab some toilet paper. Oh, that doesn't sound super exciting. Yeah, no, it won't be. Huh. And then Sue gets the power to be invisible. Okay. And yeah, that doesn't really come in handy, so she also does force fields. Sure, why not? And then Ben becomes a big rock monster called the Thing. Oh, very cool. Yeah, and instead of asking his super smart doctor friend for help, he smashes through a wall and runs home. Interesting strategy. Yeah, and his fiance sees him and she's like, oh, I don't like looking at you at all.
Oh my god, this bit was absolutely fucking hilarious. I can't believe that what's-her-name from The Walking Dead immediately rejects him when he gets this rock thing. Like, she could at least sit down and talk to him and try for a week. Isn't this like your fiance or husband or whatever? Like, I was disgusted by her actions.
Wall and runs home. Interesting strategy. Yeah, and his fiance sees him and she's like, oh, I don't like looking at you at all. Ooh, ouch, that kind of hurts. It does, and so he gets sad and goes to hang out on a bridge. Okay. But then a suicidal man shows up and Ben tries to save him, and that leads to this whole huge accident. Oh my god. Yeah, so the Fantastic Four have to like scramble and save a bunch of people. Wait, the other main characters are on the bridge too? Yeah, they happen to be on the exact same bridge at the exact same time. Wow, what a crazy, wacky
Everybody's on that fucking bridge. His fiance's on there, everyone.
coincidence. I know, right? But they do have to get through the cops to go help Ben first, so, you know, Sue takes her clothes off. What? Yeah, well, she can turn invisible, you know, so she takes her clothes off, but it doesn't fully work, so we do get to see some stuff. Great. And so, yeah, then they get through. Where'd the cops standing right?
So we do get to see some stuff. Great. Yeah, they... I don't know, do they objectify Jessica Alba in this movie? I know that's kind of like, you know, a part of the charm of like, oh, it's a goofy thing, and oh, whoopsie daisy, this happened, that kind of thing, but I don't know, it felt pretty thinly veiled, we'll say.
Right there as she got undressed and turned invisible? They were, but I guess they were still fooled by it. And how did the other two guys get past the cops? I don't know. Was this whole thing just an excuse to show a woman in her underwear? Oh yeah, absolutely. As long as we're clear. So yeah, then they save some people, like Johnny hugs a little girl and protects her from an explosion. Isn't he like also super hot and made of flames? How does pressing his body up against her save her? Fighting fire with fire. That is an expression, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and then at the end, all the cops have their guns pointed at Ben because he caused absolute chaos on the bridge. Right, but then people start clapping for him, so the cops are like, oh, never mind. Oh, I didn't realize the police were so influenced by applause. Yeah, they basically operate with a clapometer system. It's just how the law works. Well, that's very good to know. So then Ben's fiance shows up on the bridge and she drops the engagement ring because she's like, oh yeah, Ben's way too ugly now. So she like saw that he was involved in a dangerous situation on a bridge and then rushed to that bridge to break up with him in front of everybody. That's what we're going with. Well, okay then. So then the Fantastic Four all...
What a bitch, right?
become super famous heroes, you know, because they stopped the thing that they caused. Wow, so what else happens? Well, they basically sit around for the rest of the movie and argue about their powers. Well, I guess that'll be fun to watch. It might be. Oh, and Victor is also going to become more and more evil. Oh, he is? Yeah, he's the head of a big company and some businessmen want to kick him out, so, you know, he just goes crazy. Why does that sound familiar? I don't know. Fair enough. And so then Victor decides that he needs to kill the Fantastic Four. What? Why? Because he's the bad guy of the movie. Oh, I guess that's a good motivation. Yeah, so he helps Ben turn back to normal.
Let me know in the comments, did Victor have any kind of actual... was it like jealousy towards Reed? I reckon it was jealousy towards Reed. I think that was his motivation, but yeah. He didn't seem to really have like a specific thing, did he?
And then absorbs a bunch of energy. Oh, very exciting. And then he puts on a mask and a cloak and fights them all. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, and so Ben goes back to the machine and turns back into the thing so he can help. Oh, and what does he do now that he has his powers back? His big contribution is that he opens a fire hydrant. Feels like he could have done that in his human form with like a wrench. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie. Anyway, so then they fight Dr. Doom in a big old fight. Oh, it's gonna be tough to beat him now that he's super powerful. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, they just kind of combine their powers and that turns him into a statue in about 3.5 minutes. Oh, that does sound easy. So then the city or something throw a thank you party for them on a boat. What are they being thanked for? For saving the day. Wasn't Doom just trying to kill the Fantastic Four? They just saved themselves. Yeah, well, everybody really appreciated it for some reason. Oh, very thankful citizens. So then...
Oh, yeah, man. Some of these movies, that shit doesn't make any sense. It's just like, eh, and then we had a big party at the end, and everybody loves them. Like, just no... Terrible movie. Terrible movie.
Then Johnny makes a big 4 out of fire in the sky, and the movie ends. He sets the sky on fire. Yeah, that might be a thing that can happen. I don't know. Well, this all sounds very fun. Yeah, you like it? Yeah, and plus we're opening the same month as this gritty Batman reboot, so I'm pretty sure people are gonna like this one more. Oh, a gritty movie? That's gonna be bad.
Yeah, Batman Begins, best of the trilogy, in my personal opinion. Ah, Dark Knight is up there, though. The voice in The Dark Knight really, really bugs me. But we're not here to talk about The Dark Knight. We're here to talk about the Fantastic Four, and yeah, it was a shit movie. It was so... It's like, if you go back and watch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, there's a certain element of, like, cheese to it. That's like, the cheese slice of the pie is like 50% like early 2000s and 50% superhero kind of thing. The Fantastic Four movie shares that, that sort of thread of DNA with the Spider-Man movies. But then the Spider-Man movies do a way better job of actually telling the story and linking everything together and having this, you know, connective thread, you know, not just throughout the movies, but throughout the characters and everything like that. And Fantastic Four was just like, nah, double down on the cheese and we'll go from there. I didn't hate watching this one. It was fun to have the Fantastic Four in a movie and, you know, all doing their thing, but... yeah, it reeks of early 2000s. But the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, the attempt to make Jessica Alba white was so obvious and poorly done in the sequel in particular. Like, it was actually distracting when she was on screen, at just like how unnaturally blue her eyes were. And even like the tone of her skin, I don't know if they put makeup on her to make her look lighter, but it was really weird when you sit there and you're like, hang on, Sue Storm is like a Caucasian woman with and if you don't want to have Sue Storm as a Caucasian woman, I don't care about that. I don't think Sue Storm being white with blonde hair is crucial to her character. But if you are going to try and do that character, why wouldn't you just cast her? It was the early 2000s. White, attractive actresses were spilling out of the drains and out of like the buildings everywhere. Like there was tons available. So I don't know, it was such a weird choice. I think Jessica Alba was just really popular at the time, and it was like, yeah, come see the new Jessica Alba movie. What is it? Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Oh, okay. But I gotta admit, I enjoyed all the goofiness where they keep swapping powers and stuff like that. So it was a way goofier movie and not as watchable as the first one. But the Fantastic Four is such a like iconic superhero team. Again, just seeing anything with them, there's something that kind of, you know, warms the cockles of my heart every time I see it. But let's see what Ryan George has to say about The Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh, you have an obligatory sequel to a moderately successful superhero movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do.
And at the beginning of this one, Reed to a moderately successful superhero movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. And at the beginning of this one, Reed and Sue are getting ready to get married. Finally! Just giving the people what they want, sir. At the end of the last movie, I was screaming, "Get hitched, you frickin' lovebirds!" They kicked me out of the theater for it, but I had already seen the movie. Well, sir, the problem is they've tried to get married 4 times already, but the whole famous superhero thing keeps getting in the way. Oh, well, I mean, this time it'll work out, right? Actually, it won't. What? Yeah, no, see, this Silver Surfer alien guy shows up, and he's flying around the world, and he's freezing oceans and making it snow on sphinxes. That's not what the weather's supposed to be at all. It's not, no, and so this military guy, he goes to see the Fantastic Four, and he's like, you guys gotta...
Captain Holt is in this movie, that's right. Oh my god, I fucking loved that. He is quite Holty as well. He's a military officer. He's going to be very Holt-like. But it was just nice to see Andre Brewer show up in a random superhero movie, you know?
To help us, this Silver Surfer guy, he could actually be like a serious threat here. Yeah, I guess they better help with that. But Reed's gonna be like, sorry, military guy, I'm getting married. Oh, he's gonna say that? Yeah, Sue's been getting really annoyed that the weddings keep getting postponed, so, you know, he's putting her first. Right, but they need the planet Earth to get married on, right? He wants to give Sue the wedding she deserves. There's no wedding if they die, though, right? What's he talking about? Okay, well, sir, this is actually supposed to be a very romantic moment, so if you could get all the way off my back about it, that'd be great. Oh, okay, let me get off of that frickin' dorsal region. Thank you. So they're all getting ready for the wedding and stuff. I gotta say, I like how much screen time we're dedicating to a wedding in this superhero movie. Me too, but then Sue Storm realizes something. Oh no, what's going on? She has a freaking pimple on her forehead. On her wedding day? Yeah. Man, it's gonna be tough to have a pleasant wedding with a freaking pimple. Actually, it's gonna be super easy.
Barely an inconvenience. Just make it go invisible because you're the Invisible Woman. Jesus Christ, that was, see, that's that really corny early 2000s superhero nacho cheese right there.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, see, she just has to focus really hard on keeping the pimple invisible for the whole wedding. Wouldn't making it invisible just expose like a fleshy hole on her forehead? When you get a pimple, it's not like there's perfect skin underneath the pimple. Maybe there is, though. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Okay. So anyway, then it turns out that Reed was actually working on secretly saving the world and didn't tell Sue. Oh, very sneaky. Yep, pretty selfish of him. And then during the wedding, he gets an alert that the Silver Surfer's coming. Uh-oh. So there's like a bunch of chaos, a helicopter's gonna crash, and Sue has to stop it with her powers. Well, so I guess that pimple shows up again, huh? No, it doesn't. So despite being in a life and death situation, she's still focused on hiding that pimple? It would certainly seem so, sir. And then Johnny's gonna chase the Silver Surfer around the world. Wow. Yeah, but later when he tells everybody what he saw, Ben doesn't believe him. The guy made out of rocks doesn't believe that his flying fire friend saw...
Yes, exactly. You motherfuckers got cosmic powers and you're so skeptical of Johnny that he saw this alien thing. That bugged me to hell.
Another flying guy? Apparently not. And then it turns out because Johnny was touched by the Silver Surfer, now when he touches people, he switches powers with them. And long story short, that's gonna lead to a bunch of people seeing Sue's naked body. What? And while all that is happening, it turns out that the Silver Surfer's powers, they woke up Victor Von Doom. Remember him from the first movie? He's from the first movie. He sure is, sir. Okay, so what are the Silver Surfer's powers exactly? Well, I figured if I don't define them, then they could just be vague and I can have them do whatever I need them to do for any scene I'm writing. That's smart. So yeah, Von Doom is awake, but he's Palpatine now. Oh, sounds pretty evil. Yeah, so then he has a conversation with Silver Surfer and he's like, hey man, with our powers combined, we could be unstoppable. What are Von Doom's powers again? Like vague lightning powers? Anyway, he uses them on Silver Surfer and Silver Surfer's not happy with that. He uses his powers to make him go flying and, you know, cure his skin. Why would he do that? I don't know. Fair enough. So then the Fantastic...
I mean, I understand that. He absorbed whatever it is that Silver Surfer hit him with. Even though it was a concussive blast, it still charged up Doom's powers. I'm fine with that bit there, but yeah, we don't really know what the hell Doom's powers were, and they never really sort of went into any detail about what Silver Surfer's powers even were. I mean, he was turning Egypt into a winter wonderland, so what part of his powers is that?
Before they save a bunch of people in London, but the military didn't like exactly how they did it, so they hire Victor Von Doom. They hire the guy they know killed a bunch of people? Yeah, Von Doom realized that the board is the source of Silver Surfer's power, so the military are like, okay, yeah, let's get that power-hungry murderer guy in here to come help get our hands on that thing. Very irresponsible. So they go try to capture this thing in a forest in Germany, but then the Silver Surfer tells Sue, like, I'm not the one who's gonna destroy your planet here. Oh, plot twist. And he actually saves Sue's life before being separated from his board and being sent to a prison in Siberia. Why did...
Yeah, and this is where he and Sue start having fucking mind sex. Since I became an action figure collector, one of the characters that I've really learned a lot about is Galactus, and more so I've learned that the fandom love Galactus, and I wonder how upset were people with the representation of Galactus in this movie. If you're a mad comic book nerd, please let me know what the backlash was like, because Galactus is great, and I don't know what the fuck we got in this movie.
They keep changing countries. So Sue and Silver Surfer end up talking more, and he shows her a PowerPoint presentation on his belly, and it turns out that he's a herald for Galactus. Oh, what do those words mean? It means he goes out and he finds worlds that are suitable for Galactus to eat. Oh, this Galactus guy is scary, huh? Yes, sir, he is. Very scary. Yeah, like a cloud? What? He's scary like a cloud? No, not at all like a cloud. He's a massive cosmic character guy. Well, I say we make him a cloud. It doesn't get much scarier than that. Oh, I feel like it does, though. No, I mean, check out this cloud. It looks like a frickin' jack-o'-lantern. Why do you have this presentation ready? Look at this frickin'
Why is the presentation not on your stomach? What the fuck was that one?
This friggin' cloud, that's not natural at all. That looks like a ghost or something. I mean, kind of, a little. This one friggin' looks like Stephen King. Have you read his books? They're terrifying. Have you read Cujo? I'm almost positive that one's photoshopped. Anyway, I think I've made my point. So what happens with this big scary cloud? He's not actually a cloud. What happens with this big scary cloud? Okay, well, he wants to eat the planet. Oh, a very rude cloud. So then Dr. Doom, he steals the Silver Surfer's board and he takes off to go do his evil plan. What's his evil plan again? Unclear, but he's on his way to it and he's moving very...
I love the way how he just brushed over that unclear really quickly. Like, unclear. Don't know why the hell he wants it or what he's doing with it, but just don't focus on that. I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my dorsal area about that one.
Fast. Well, they better catch up to him, I guess. Yeah, they'd better, and so then they do. Amazing. But then he throws a spear at Silver Surfer, and Sue steps in front of it and gets it right in the heart. Oh, spears through the heart can be fatal. It is gonna be fatal, but before she dies, Johnny touches all the other superheroes, so he absorbs all their powers. I thought that touching people made him switch powers with them. That's right. So do they each get like a third of his fire powers, or? No, he keeps those now too. How does that work? Look, I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. So he has this big old fight with Doom, and they fight, and then Doom ends up underwater. A very underwater bad guy. And Silver Surfer says that Sue reminds him of his wife, so he goes and he kills Galactus. He let trillions of lives be extinguished on other planets because none of them reminded him of his wife? I guess, yeah, understandable. And also he brings Sue back from the dead because of the vague power.
And not only that, he couldn't go back to his homeland while he was like doing all this stuff for Galactus anyway, so he couldn't be happy with his wife. He's slaughtering civilizations indiscriminately, and he's like, yeah, you know what? I think I should stop doing this. Like, well done, Silver Surfer, you dummy.
Powers I mentioned. Well, she must be a little messed up mentally, having died and everything. No, she's good. She's like, what did I miss? And they all laugh. Oh, hilarious impalements are tight. Oh, and also the whole movie, she wanted to stop being a superhero because she's like, it's not a good environment to raise a family in. Right. But now that the movie's over, she's like, you know what? No, this is actually perfect. So what convinced her that this is a good environment for kids after all? Was it the spear that pierced her heart and killed her? That's right, sir. And so then they have their wedding in Japan with a whole bunch of strangers. Oh, okay, that's nice, I guess. Yeah, it is. So what do you think? Well, it sounds like a movie. It is, yeah. And I mean, if people don't like it, we could just reboot the whole thing in a couple years. That's a good point, sir. By then, we'll know exactly how to make a good Fantastic Four movie.
Damn. Yeah, nothing about that new Fantastic Four movie looked good. Fantastic Four is a weird group to try and bring to any kind of screen because Reed Richards' powers are goofy. They're goofy. Like, I don't care what iteration of Mr. Fantastic it is, they are very goofy powers. Sue Storm's powers are, you know, the force field thing's good, but I think they really had to, like, add that in to, you know, give her some sort of, like, ability on the battlefield. Because turning invisible is a fairly, you know, passive sort of power. Human Torch is obviously very good, and Chris Evans was great in this movie as Human Torch, especially when he had all the different powers. And the Thing is obviously a big yellow rock man, so it's a pretty, like, bombastic and very kind of 60s almost, in a way, group that you need to try and contemporize and find a way to make it new and interesting. And I don't know how Marvel's going to go with it. I think we're getting a Fantastic Four movie next year, I believe. I don't know who's in it, or I haven't looked into anything about that at all. But I have faith in Disney that they're going to be able to do something good with the MCU moving forward. I think the hiccup is over, and I'm hoping that Deadpool is, you know, the beginning. Deadpool 3 is the beginning of, like, the next upswing for Marvel. And the big test is going to be, you know, we've got New World Order coming out next. Brave New World, I think it's called now. Captain America movie. And then I think it's the Fantastic Four after that. So Brave New World's going to be interesting. It could go either way. It could be great. They might put all of their effort into it. Or it might be something that's a bit of a write-off and doesn't do that good, but we'll have to wait and see. But I enjoyed this. As always, Ryan George does fantastic work. He points out a lot of stuff. Like, I really didn't notice that Victor Von Doom had no distinguishable plan. Like, it's such a big thing. And that's what I like about watching Ryan George's videos is sometimes you miss small things, sometimes you miss very big things. So big shout out to the man himself. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and patreon.com/FWCI if you'd like to support the channel a bit further. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.